everyone. Hi, Daura. We are together. Do you hear me? Yes, great. So today we are speaking about building our experience for the future events. And I'd like to take it straightly to the example, building the experience, of course. I mean, what the experience will be that we'll get from this course. Of course, I'll give some other examples as well with working with our feelings and thoughts. And I'd also touch a bit on the subject on what intuition is and what it brings us and how we can work with what it brings us. So I'll add the whiteboard for that and we'll draw a little. I'll get back to the model of the stream that I said, the energy of every area of our interest in this model of life can be presented like this. That this is if this is a stream and somewhere here is our alignment in it, okay? And then we continue with this alignment forward, but life also expands, and then what is formed is these areas of what I call pockets of happiness that feel to us unhappy. And so this is the line where we net align. And in the beginning, when we come from here, we are only aligned on this area. And in these areas, we are not aligned. And so the experience that life brings us, it's unpleasant. Sometimes unpleasant a lot, sometimes unpleasant a bit. And then we can do something about it. Now, what in this model intuition is just a taste of life forward. It's like a preview of life that we are going to have. What we feel with our intuition is the ratio of our alignment here, of how much we are aligned, and so the good events are probable, are created by this stream, and how much we are not aligned, and so how much of the bad feeling are probable, are created forward. So when we feel that something bad is going to happen, it doesn't mean that this is what it will be. It means that if we continue, like Abraham Hicks say, beating the same drum, like if we continue the same politics, if we continue thinking the same thoughts and doing the same things that we are doing right now, when this is the feeling, then this is what we are going to get. But if we take a tool as a control lamp that lets us, as an indicator that lets us understand what our current vibration ratio is, then we can work with it, and then we can change it so that the experience that we will get later will be more pleasant. How we do it? Changing our thoughts, because it's the same as in an example that when we are glad, we smile. And on the other hand, if we are sad, but we are forcing ourselves to physically smile, then we starting being less sad, because it does somehow influence our state when we are really. It's like pretend and it happens. So it's of that model a bit. And the same thing is working with thoughts as well, which means when we when we have a certain state of being, certain state of energy, then it is projected to our thoughts, and it can be said that it is projected to our perception, which defines, like a filter, all the thoughts that we have on this situation. It's like when it probably happened that you saw something, you were in tune, in focus on something unwanted in your life, and then it didn't really matter that there was a sunny day outside, and I don't know, something like kids were smiling or something else good was happening. It's like your filter was pointing it all away, like you were not there. You were not in those good feeling thoughts, good feeling persons. Like you could say at those moments, yes, there is a sunny day outside, but there is such and such situation in which I feel bad. And I just like this, the unpleasantness of this situation is now more important to me than the pleasure of the sunny day and all other things. Right? And you probably also had different days when you were having some situation in life which were unpleasant or complicated, etc. But you just were so focused on the sunny day outside, or your kid's smile, or anything good, that it just wasn't that close to you. It wasn't that important to you to think about those issues that bothered you before. Okay? And this is really what I'm speaking about, that our alignment ratio here, how do I, second, try to take a different color. If we say that this is how much we are aligned, and these pockets of happiness, ironically or not, this is where we are not aligned yet. And so the proportion of these two areas is what I call the alignment ratio. And we can work on it. And it is the deliciousness of when you at first, and even it doesn't change actually with all the vibrational work that you are doing, that you are continuing to do. For me, every time it continues to bring the feeling that, wow, how amazing, changing my perception inside. I'm changing something between me, and suddenly my relationship with other people changes, or something changes outside. And but what is important, that it only comes as a bonus. It doesn't come as a result. Even though in the beginning, when the unpleasant situation was happening, I could feel that all I wanted to change was to change this unpleasant situation. But then later, when I focused on my inner work and working with myself inside, then it changed to the most important thing to be, to have this inner peace, the peace inside, the pleasure inside. And then when this peace comes, other things just, I'd say, reflect it, come as a bonus together with it. And then, yes, it's nice to have, but it also feels like this doesn't define me. I define myself. I define what I will be feeling on this subject. And this is what Abram defines as my very favorite term. They say it's unconditional fun. Even in the very unpleasant situation, I can have this unconditional fun. But it doesn't have to be always that unconditional. And that's what we want to learn today. How to establish the feeling, the future experience inside, in us right now, so that the now moment is actually what defines what we feel for the future. And the now moment actually becomes more important to us than the future that we define. And then it can really define the future. That is the power of it. When we are being told that we should give up on our desires in order to get what we want, this is actually bullshit. because we don't really need to give up on what we desire. We need to come to a conclusion, to the feeling that not the outer circumstances will define us. We will define us. And I want you to feel this kind of responsibility for what you will experience in this course as well. Because this is what you will get from this course. Like, no matter what we will put into it, no matter which lectures will be provided or on which it will be, etc. It doesn't matter because, second, it doesn't matter because when you have this filter I spoke about before today, when more important to you is something unpleasant that is in your focus, then all the good things are just filtered out. And then no matter what we will provide in this course, no matter how good it will be, you won't be able to see it. You won't be able to attend those lectures, or you won't be able to perceive it in the lectures that you attend, or even when you do attend, you won't be able to feel it. You will still feel what your alignment defines to you. Okay? And the opposite is true as well, that when you build your experience towards all the course, that it is something pleasant, like when you don't, and this is an important thing here, that you don't need to convince yourself that it will be pleasant or it will be good or anything like that. You also don't need to get from us any confirmation or anything actually in order for you to have a pleasant experience on this course. When you build the good feeling, when you build additionally like a good feeling vibration, like a good feeling experience, then this will be your experience. This is what you will get in this course, no matter what. No matter what. Because you define your reality. You define experience. And you define it with your very thoughts. Now, for those of you who didn't attend the free webinar that I provided before the course, I want to give you the example that I was giving then, that actually it's not that we are changing the reality. It's not that there is just one reality, and this is what science now confirms to us, that it's not only one universe and only one reality that we exist in, and so to better suit our interest, we have to change other people's behavior, or we have to change anything physical in it. Because when we have a model of life like this, it makes it really hard to try and come to any thoughts about changing vibration, or the thoughts about the relativity of what is happening, that we are in charge and all that, because we think that in order for us to get what we want, we have to change other people or circumstances, anything. While in the model of life of multiple universes and multiple realities that all change all together all the time, and like Bashar says, that we actually switch to a different reality billion times per second, or billions, I don't remember, it doesn't really matter in this case. There is a very interesting movie on BBC documentary about this, and you can see it. I will later repost in the together with the video replay the link to the article that gives the several sources, several video that you can see about it, and this is several descriptions, the points of view on these multiple universes and multiple realities, because and this model gives us to change our thoughts more easily. And it says the following, that it's not that here we are and we are going forward and here are all kinds of things that happen. And they all are happening on this our line of life, okay? What that model says about multiple universes and multiple realities, it says that here we are, okay, and it wasn't my intention to draw the square, it just the program decides what I have drawn what was more like, okay, and here we are, and there are several realities, several possibilities that exist simultaneously that we can come to, okay? Just a second, I will draw them all and then I'll explain to you. For example, we are arguing with one person and we have point A, they have point B. And then in this point of view, we do one reality where it will be or they agree with us or they disagree with us. And then in order for us to somehow live the experience that we want to have, we have to change the experience, the behavior of that person, or to convince them in something, or somehow change their behavior. While in our in this model of multiple realities, these realities all coexist, they all simultaneously exist, in which one of them is that this person is having their point of view. This is where this person changed, and this is can be anything else, like that you change your point of view and whatever else is happening. When we define where our energy goes, then it defines to which reality we come. If we come to this reality, or if we come this reality, or if we come to this reality. So now it can be said that our task at hand, our job, has just simplified a lot. Now we don't need to convince anyone in anything. We just need to work with our point of view, our perception, our feeling or future experience. And this is what I was telling you about the intuition. That in the intuition, we just read our energy state, current, that is existing now, at this time, when we are feeling it, that our point of view, like our perception, our feeling of what will happen, it just tells what is our current most probable version, most probable reality that we will come to. If we feel that that person will have their opinion and we will feel bad with it, especially, then it is the reality that we will most probably come to. But, as I said, we don't have to come there. We can come to what we define as our desired experience, as the experience that before, or better said, as the experience that we establish for ourselves in this stream at this point of time. Like now, we change the way we feel now about that area of interest, and then just what it will be forward. When what is most important, actually, and this is kind of a side statement, say, that when we start working with ourselves about vibration, about energy, understand that this is our source who is breathing through us, living through us, and that we are its implementation, physical implementation, and we are the creators through it, with it. Then we start appreciating ourselves more. And then this is important for us, what we feel now in this moment. It becomes less important to us what we will feel in the future. We kind of let it go. We kind of let the future define itself. And we can appreciate more and focus more on what we feel right. And then this question changes. When we ask ourselves what the course experience will be for me, then we are trying to find what it will be like, the reality. And it a bit reminds like we are coming to a mirror, and while going to it, on the way we are saying to ourselves, wait a moment, now I'll look into the mirror and I'll see if I'm smiling or I'm sad. You don't do this, right? You know that when you are coming to the mirror smiling, then this is what reflects. And when you are coming to the mirror sad, then this is what reflects there. But with the reality, what is my expectation of the experience that I'll have on the course? We tend to feel like asking ourselves, what will it be? What it will be in reality? What what is the truth? What will it be there, outside of me? While if we cherish the moment that we have in life right now, we can ask ourselves, what thought about the course would feel the best for me right now? What do I want to experience on this course? What do I want to feel? And I don't know, but try to feel when you switch to this question, like from the question, what will it be in reality outside of me? What will they do? What they will provide? And what will it give me? If this will help me in my life? How will it define the experience of my life, etc.? When you switch to the feel in this course, what experience I want to have it? How do I want it to be in every moment that I'm here? And how do I want to feel when this course is complete? And how do I want to feel about the lectures? And how do I want to feel about that? That in the question there is more appreciation of ourselves. Like the focus is on ourselves and on our value, on what we feel about us. Volume again. Would you like to answer me in comment? Anyone? Okay. Is what I'm saying Meredith, what would you want to repeat from which place? Should I repeat the question? Okay. The question is like this. In two questions. One question is what will be what's happening outside of me in this course? What will it be? What lectures they will provide? What will I get from it for my life? Will it be there? And the second question is how I want to feel in this course, the experience that I want to have in this course. So my question is, of these two points of view, yes, Karen, yes. Yes, thank you. My question is, when you switch from the questions, what will it be outside of me? What will it happen out there? What will they do? How can they provide me the experience I came for? Yes, exactly. I just want you to feel this difference that we have inside when we switch to the question, what do I want in this course? What do I want to feel? What do I prefer to experience on every lecture? What do I want to feel? What feeling I want to be left with when this course ends? What do I want to be in this course? Okay. I want you to ask all of you, if you wish to participate in this play, what experience you want to have in this course. What is it that you want to feel here in every lecture? What is it that you would want to feel? You're welcome to reply in the comments. I will take a seat. Okay, and then the question is, it is usually like this. Then when we are asked what we want to experience, we usually state, yes, we usually state some events that we have in our, okay? And what I'm asking is more emotional. Let's see that you are provided with all the information. Let's say that you have learned and grown from the shared, and let's say that you got more knowledge and understanding and more self-healing to be able to help others as well. What will you feel with it? What will it give you? What feeling will it give you? And this is actually the work. This is the work of establishing your experience, because if we speak of NL, for example, then we can remember that when we are taking some events and asking ourselves, what would we do in that situation, or what would we feel in that situation, then our subconscious is taking that event as something that is already happening, and then it gives us indeed more probability, possibility, everything to come. Joy, great, more love, attention, joy and unity, feeling and suspicions by perception and shared by others, proven by science. Okay. Okay. And what would you, what could you feel from getting more knowledge in these circumstances? More knowledge, more understanding. What will it give you? You can reply by the physical facts or events that you expect to be happening. That the emotion gives us more ability to connect there immediately. But because when we state some physical events that we want to be provided to us, then we don't really feel at that moment that we already have it. We feel like someone has to provide these events to us in order for us to live what we want. And when we speak about emotions, then these emotions we can feel now, especially when we do some detective work that I will tell you about later. I see only two participants actually participating actively in what we are doing. I offer other participants to take a more active participation as well, because this is actually practicing finding the feeling and establishing the feeling that we want to have in your experience. Joy, joining, unity. Great. Challenge, confidence in self. That's just great what you're saying, Karen, because of itself already, but also because when I'm reading what you are saying, it immediately connects me to this state, and then it allows me to have it. Yeah, exactly. It allows me to have this experience right now, to wait then. It's like when something is going to happen eventually, and we are going to be happy in those circumstances. The question is, do we really need until this is happening in order to have that experience? Or we can have some joy from it in advance before it happened? Um, that's the question. Great. That's great. I want to ask you if you feel that something on what you just said about, yes, exactly. You are also prolonging your state that you are in right now. There is the physicist Tom Campbell. That's the book, My Big My Big Theory of Everything. And he's a very interesting physicist that wrote a lot, saying he didn't believe in any energy events that are possible, like remote viewing or anything like that happening. And then got to experience lots of experiments with some people who were able to provide these things to scientists, to be measured, to be experimented, to see it, to get the scientific evidence that these things are possible. Of course, it changed a lot for him, and in his book, he's writing a lot about it. So, on why I remember him right now, because I saw, and I will try to find that link and post it in the video as well, that he said some experiment was conducted and some condition measured. And the experiments, the scientific experiments show that when that condition is measured, it prolongs it. When no one was measuring the condition, then it had one ratio of probability to happen. And when something was measured and it gave a certain outcome, then this state was prolonged and there was much more probability of that thing, that condition remain the same because of measuring, like along with the measuring. Like the measuring was prolonging it. And so what you are saying, it seems to me that if you're waiting, you're wasting, that's it. You're wasting your time and you are prolonging the experience of not having it. While if we establish the feeling that we want to have, if we establish it right now or as soon as we can, then we can already have it right now. And we can also project it to our future and let that outside end that would contain, would bring us the emotion we want to have, this event is coming quicker to us, faster than other, if rather than if we are focused on not having it and then we are prolonging not having it. Okay, now we'll have a break for 5 or 7 minutes. And after the break, we will speak about some instruments, some tools, some additional tools and instruments that we can use in establishing our experience for future events. I want to thank you very much, Meredith and Karen, for your active participation and working with me and making it possible to show immediately what this emotional work is able to do for us right now in this moment. Thank you very much. Is there a sound there now? Yes? Hear me now? I just said that, Karen, you just said it all. You just said exactly what I would want to have, that I would want to have in this course. And this is so precious, so touching, that when I'm reading this, I can immediately connect to it and share this state and be in this state right now when I'm reading it. And this is important and this is amazing. Share with you a personal experience that I think will contribute to what we are learning right now. There was a time when I was really struggling financially, really struggling. And it was so hard for me, very hard, in short. And when I was doing the vibrational work with myself all the time about it, then yes, it's the same scenario that I was talking before in my free webinar that you're all well to see if you haven't seen yet. That it's always the same scenario, that in the beginning, when something unpleasant is happening, I, with all my experience with vibrational work, I still every time fall in the same trap. That in the beginning, I'm trying to vibrationally change my attitude in order to change the circumstances. And it never works. Never. What work is that at some point I come to the state of being just so tired of feeling bad. Like, the hell with the circumstances. Okay, I cannot change, but at least I want to feel better. Right? I'm tired of being so frustrated. I'm tired of being so depressed. I'm tired of being so frightened. And then I'm asking myself, if whatever happens, if I want to feel good, and I say yes, and then I ask myself, if no matter what is happening, I will be able to feel good. And then my energy experience already gives me this possibility to say, yes, I define myself. Not the physical circumstances define me. I define myself and I will be happy no matter what, because I define it from inside. I define my happiness from inside. And but then in that financial situation that I was speaking about, it was still on that stage when I was trying to change the circumstances with my vibrational work. And part of the vibrational work that we will learn forward in the course, it was partly, I told you this before, that we are just saying what we want to experience, and then we ask ourselves, let's say this already is happening. What does it give me? What do I feel? What is my experience there? What does it to do? What does it help me to implement? What experience does it help me? And then for our subconscious, it is taken as if this is already happening, that reality. And then it is much easier for us to switch to that state and hold it, be in it, and experience it. And I just asked self, well, I was all the time doing my work, as I was asking myself what it is that I want to be happening. And I said, of course, I want to be financially well provided. I want to be self-sustained. I want my financial state to be feeling good to me. And then I was analyzing what would it give me. And let's say now I said, let's say in my financial account in my bank, there is enough money so that I don't need to worry tomorrow or next month, and I can live more calmly. So when I asked myself how I would feel there, what would it enable me to do, to feel, etc., then it gave me, of course, the feeling of freedom. I found that on most of my vibrational work, when I'm asking myself what I want to experience and then what it would give me, it always feels like the feeling of freedom. Then I can go and implement what I want to implement, do what I want to do, with the feeling of constant support, and that the universe is behind me and around me and supports me and loves me, and that I feel that I'm, and all that. And this feeling of freedom. And then I asked myself, but let's say that I do have this sum of money on my bank account. Does it guarantee that tomorrow it will be there still? No. Because I suddenly understood that anything can happen. Anything can happen that could ruin it. I could, like we all are dreaming of establishing, at least what I was seeing, yeah, that we all are dreaming about establishing enough income so that it would cover our expenses, our everyday expenses, and what we desire also. But I suddenly understood that no matter what sum would be there, some circumstances can happen that would take it all away, or something else can happen that would take all my calm life, that some particular sum of money on my account, on my bank account, would give me. Then I just realized, okay, if I never, no matter what conditions I have right now, because what was happening there, I thought that this particular sum of money on my bank account was going to guarantee the quietness of my mind. Is the connection? Yes, we are back. Do you hear me? Anyone here? Yes, good. Okay, thank you for your feedback. Okay, just a moment, Dara. I will finish my thought and then I will read your comment. Thank you for commenting. So what I was saying was I thought that me having when I have that particular sum of my on my bank account, then it could prove to me, it could convince me that I can be quiet, be calm, be relaxed, and do what I want to do without worrying about my tomorrow. Like something outside of me, I thought could convince I can stop worrying and I can continue happily with the feeling I am supported. But what I then suddenly realized in that revelation was that no matter what sum that is, there is no guarantee at any point of time, anywhere, in any case, because in the next moment, not even to speak about in the next day or next week or whatever, the next moment can happen something that could take it away. There are wars, there are weather conditions, etc. And then I said, okay, if nothing can guarantee to me, if nothing ever can outside of me can guarantee to me at any point of time, then what am I left with? And I just realized that what I was left with was the current moment. That at every current moment of my life, I can appreciate and be happy with having something right now. That right now in my current second, in my current moment, I'm having this and this and that. And I can be happy with it, knowing that with no circumstances there ever can be any guarantee. Yes, the only constant in life is change. Yes, yes. Yes, is the experience. That's what I was also wanting to speak. That the experience that in our course, why I am asking you not so much about the fact that you would want to, what you would want to happen in this course, which lecture here, what exactly you want to learn, etc. I'm asking you what is the experience that you want to have, because I, in my vibrational experience, in my experience with myself, with my coaching clients, with people that I see around me, it is always like this. I see that the circumstances can be just any circumstances in the world. And the perception changes it all so drastically that in the same circumstances, I see that I can feel differently. And it gives, maybe in the beginning, it gives some frustration. That says, what? Nothing else can provide for me some happiness. Nothing outside of me can provide to me what I want to experience. But the next point that I come to tells me that yes, nothing outside of me can provide me that experience. But inside of me, I establish this experience for. Then I can come to it with time, like I can come to it with time the circumstances will come that will bring me this feeling, okay? And not only, the most important thing, that I can have the feeling I want to have right now in this moment. And this is what Karen and Meredith, thank you very much for your excellent work with me today, demonstrate today that when you are starting to state what is it that you wish to experience, then we all, not only you, but also people who read it, can already be there. We can feel it right now. And then I'm sure that if you listen to yourself, then somehow, somewhere inside you, you can find this feeling that you know it, that this will be the experience. When you read what Karen wrote, and I hope I hope you allow me to do this. Along with the video, I will put these words that you said also, so that everyone who comes to the replay of this lecture will be able to read it and see it and feel that also. That when we are just put ourselves inside feeling, then we such a feeling of power inside us that we just know that this will be our experience, and we just know that we know that we establish all the course experience from this point of existence right now, from this point of feeling. We feel that it is us who are responsible for our life, and then we do feel this power to create our reality. We do feel how this is done at this moment. I remember that years ago, when I was just read something by some Russian former physicist about he calls it transurfing, reality transurfing. It is very interesting theory and very similar to what the law of attraction theory tells us. There are some rules how we should behave there and what we should do in order to create our reality the way we want it to be. And I was then working as a programmer. Karen, you hear me? Oops. This program just keeps restarting. Okay. Okay, good. Please tell me all the times that the sound is lost, because this program time is restarting the audio settings, and so the audio volume becomes lower. It doesn't show me any indicator of it, so please tell me when this is going lower. So what I was saying, that I read some rules how we should behave. Storm coming. Okay, you can work that expectation of experience as well, right? Okay. So then I was working as a programmer, and I was coming to my work every day in some transportation point that people who came driving to our company was like, I came to the transportation point with the train, but there was still some going with auto needed, like some 10-15 minutes from there. And we had this tradition in our company that whoever passes the transportation point and sees someone voting with a pass card there from our company, then they stop and okay, Dora, I will address your comment later. Thank you. So I was needing to wait there in the transportation point, and it was the tradition that whoever drives there to the work in their car and sees someone voting there with their pass cards from our work, they would stop and take us with them, like giving us a tramp to come to our work together. Because there were buses there, but the buses were rare, really rare at that point. Later, the more buses were added, but at that point it's very rare coming. So we more expected to be taken by our co-workers than the bus. But then, what I learned the rules, and I started to implement it there because I was because sometimes those cars are coming quickly, but sometimes I needed to wait like 20 minutes, 40 minutes or more for some car to come and take me to the work. Because I wasn't driving. I'm not relying on my ability to focus on it, driving too many things to focus all at once. So I wasn't driving. So I was relying on others to take me, and it was like driving me nuts to having to wait every time there until some car comes and takes me. When I read that book about reality transurfing, I started to experiment. And he is also the one who says it, that we should kind of give up on what we desire and then we get it. But he also said that this is like the feeling that we have to establish inside of what we want to be happening, and that we have to imagine this outcome so vividly that it doesn't matter to us what is happening outside. And this is what I came to experiencing, because I felt like that it was kind of I remember this phrase. I really liked it in the movie The Secret. Some of the consultants there said that it's kind of a ping pong, that you say it's like this, and the world says no, it's like this, and you say no, it's like this, and the reality says no, it's like this. And so I was playing ping pong with those cars. Like I said, the car is coming and I'm feeling that I'm going to my work. But the reality said, no, there are no cars there. And then I needed to be like to insist on my point of view, regardless of what the reality was telling me. And so what I just needed to be consistent, to persist, to insist on my point of view, that the car is coming and that I am feeling comfortable, and the car came and I'm going to my work and I'm feeling comfortable in it, and I'm feeling that here now I will come to my work and all is well and I will be there on time, blah blah blah, all those thoughts. And then, with some practice, I came there. I mean, that I came to this ability to establish this feeling inside. And I came to this feeling that when I'm having it inside, like when I'm feeling it inside, that the car came and I'm sitting there inside and I'm going to work and they came, they took me, and now I will be there on time and I will come to work on time and I will feel good about myself, and day is going to come swiftly, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling comfortable. I'm feeling supported. At some point, these feelings were so good that they became more important for me than whatever was happening outside. And I just felt it, that it was like a click. The moment that I felt that, the car was coming. And it happened 3 days in a row. Like the moment I came to the feeling that no matter what's going outside, it doesn't matter to me, because inside I feel just so good with it. The hell with what's happening outside. And then I realized that the reality brings to us the events that we are insisting enough, persistent enough in having the experience about. It's the experience that we are having in advance that is reflecting in those facts. And this is actually the matter, that whenever we find something that we can feel inside and be happy with it right now, then this is what creates the events that come with the taste to us. Like, this is where we engage right now, and then, like Abram says, bring me more of it, bring me more of it. Whatever we state right now, it's like saying, I feel like this right now, bring me more of it. So when we are happy with something, it's like, happy with it, bring me more of it. When we are complaining about something, I'm unhappy about it, please bring me more of it. Because we never want the world to bring us more of unhappy circumstances, but that's what just is happening by itself, because our experience is what is getting projected to the future. So yes, or maybe it is just, can be said that it is just perfect, that it is working in this way, because it is both that the experience is projected forward to the events that we will have, but also it is easier for us to create the reality that we prefer when we focus now on experience that we want to have in the future, like the feeling of it. When we are concentrated on the feeling that we want to have, then it is easier for us to concentrate on it right now, because the feeling doesn't have in it that resistance that we have when we state some facts, some events, physical events that we want to be happening outside of us. Okay? It is easier for us to be immersed in the feeling that we have when we state it as the thing that we want to have to the future. And also, it is easier for us to be there right now when we state the feeling that we want to have and not the events, because we don't feel that we need to change something outside of us. We feel great relief that we can change something inside, and that's it. Suddenly it becomes enough for us. It becomes enough to appreciate this moment, to live this moment to the fullest, to the joyous. Okay, we're back again. Have some restart. Okay. Okay, now I'll go back to Dora's comment, and then I will add you some instruments that we can have in establishing our point of Max. Dora said Max to learn from Dr. Korotkov's decades of work, to learn from his books about his new human light source technologies in order to relieve the suffering of the people I work with. People I work with are very ill, and this technology can help them. Dr. Korotkov has said it is time to raise global consciousness, and I am looking forward to learn from him as his colleagues. Okay, that's a pity Dora needed to go, because as you can see, your experience of today's vibrational work, you can see that what Dora says, these are facts, these are events that she wants to be happening. While it is very hard when someone says that this is what they want to have, then this is really hard for them to come to the feeling, to establish it inside. Because when they state the to have, then feeling is someone outside of me has to provide it to me. I can't do it myself. You, as the course organizers, you have to provide it to me. I cannot establish it myself because I am not inviting these lecturers. I am not the course organizer, etc. Like, it's kind of the feelings of helplessness. When we state the events that we want to have, on one hand, this is already one step in the direction of stating what we want. On the other hand, this is always kind of helplessness in it, because like we give our power away. We give our power away. I want to show you something. Second. Just a second, I will open it, and then you'll see. Now, please let me know if you hear me well, if something goes, if my volume suddenly goes lower. I will pay attention. This page is really, really important in the demand of what the vibrational work is and what it can do also, unhurtable. This is about, this is an excerpt from some seminar that Abraham Hicks had. And someone asked them, why is it so hard to break up with somebody, especially for the person who is being left? And Abram says, explains it, and it says you can just listen to a dialogue that speaks contrary to what your inner being knows to be true. You can read it all on that page. I will put the link. I will put the link there next to the video. Right now, I wanted to show you something that they said. Where is it? I will find it. That's it. Here they say it. What happens with most people in relationships is that two people stand there, both wanting to feel good, both holding the other one responsible for the way they feel. And this, it is so dumb. Yes, I will provide the link. Yes, of course, I will provide the link. Second, I will see what else you wrote there. It's okay. What happens with most people in relationships is that two people stand there, both wanting to feel good, both holding the other one responsible for the way they feel. And we say that is so dumb because they can't vibrate for you, and it's giving them all the power. And so this one blames that one, then this one blames that one, and nobody's happy. Where if one of you would say, I am no longer going to hold you responsible for the way I feel. I'm holding myself responsible for the way I feel. Wouldn't anybody that's up close to you, wouldn't they just be like fresh air? Well, don't wait around. They're not going to do it to you. Well, maybe they will. But you could give it to them and you could get the same fresh air, but saying to them, I want you to be happy, but I'm not going to let your unhappiness of my unhappiness, because I want too much to be happy. And so this is what is so important here, is for me this phrase, because they can't vibrate for you, and it's giving them all of your power. Now we'll come back to our screen. Okay, I'm here again. And I want to say, no one can hurt me without my permission, Karen. Yes, yes. This is not immediately obvious, right? for everyone who is doing the vibrational work, learning to do it, say in the beginning that it is not what we are trained to do, because we are trained to waiting for the conditions to change in order for us to feel better, because we are trained to have the feeling by default what events are bringing us. That is what we are feeling. We are not trained to do the thought work, the vibrational work inside. And we there is something in this point of like in this standpoint, standing here and I'm saying, yes, I bought participants in the course, and you have to provide me this and this and that, because on your sales copy, you said that you would provide it to me. But what I'm saying is, no matter how much we provide, if the expectation of the experience is the taste of I paid for something and it is not given to me, or not enough is given to me, and no matter what is provided outside, the feeling will still find its projection. Like maybe we will provide this and this and that, and still the feeling will prevail, because there will still be there some circumstances will always be projected into like this expectation of the experience, like this taste, I can say, this to the experience's head. And then no matter what we provide or how we provide, there still always will be events that will bring this feeling, not enough is given to me. If this is what, like, like some trainers said, you prefer to be right or you prefer to live in love. There is something in it, because there is something on one hand on this stand of, you stated that you will give it to me, so you have to give it to me. And I don't to change my perception. You have to give it to me. And there is something in that, because you are obviously right and your point of view is valid on one hand. On the other hand, from my experience, from my years, decades of working with the vibration, I know that this taste of you have to give something to me is, first of all, giving away your own power of creating your reality your way, on your terms, and having what you feel. And it also, this is just at this moment when you are saying you have to give it to me, this moment you feel powerless. It's like this moment you are like stealing from yourself the experience of power that you could have right now if you would be doing your vibrational work and establishing and dedicating several minutes to establish your experience for all the course and all the experience. Like, isn't it exciting that we can just establish our feeling right now and then let it process? Like, let it be projected in all the events that we'll have. Like all the events that they will give us this feeling that we are immersed in right now, because we have this power to be immersed feeling right now. And then we don't have to force anything on to anyone, or we don't have to demand anything from anyone. We don't even have to ask anything from anyone. We don't have to convince anyone in anything. We just establish it inside, and then it simply works for the future, and it also works for our now moment. Like right now we feel powerful. Right now we create our reality the real way that works. And that's what really counts. That's what really matters. And I love this word. Bashar said that said to us that um, we can pay attention to how this is said in English. This matters. It materializes. It not only is important, it matters. It materializes. This thing matters. It's like Bashar says this saying that we can tell ourselves when we Okay, I'm back. You hear me now? Second, I will adjust the volume again. Okay. Do you hear me now? Are you with me? Anyone? Okay, great. So this phrase that, yeah, thank you. I'm here again. So this phrase that Bashar said was like this statement to tell ourselves when in this ping pong we feel like the circumstances are defining us instead of us defining what we want to feel, and us defining our vibration, us defining our state. He says to tell ourselves, circumstances do not matter. Only my state of being matters. What state of being that I prefer? And I put a link also next to the video with some links to YouTube clips that people posted from various Bashar's seminars about this, so that you could see also the context of where it said it. But this is really, really powerful. Circumstances do not matter. The circumstances that material the next circumstances. It's our state of being. Like something happens and we feel a certain way about that something. And then our feeling creates the next circumstance that happens there. So it's like only through us the next circumstances can be created. We will speak more about it, of course, later in the course, and see what how this is working and what we can do in the process more. Now we are almost late. I'd say that that now we can take this as a reset statement that I think after today's session and the excellent work that you were doing, we can feel that this is working for us right now. Circumstances do not matter. Only my state of being matters. What state of being do I prefer? There is also something that Bashar added to it, some statements that can be added to it to make it more powerful. We will speak about more of it later in the course. Now I want to give you something additional in order for you to practice what we learned today. Just a moment. I will share my desktop again and then I will show you. Okay, we'll come to the website and I will open my blog with the free self-coaching resources that you can use. And there are some many processes, 50 plus processes that I created for myself and my coaching clients. And what we'll see, let's give it a moment to load. Okay. No. Just a second. There are lots of videos here, and so it's loaded not very fast, especially when the webinar connection is going and no, please work. Second, you'll see it. What I called self-enjoying pages. Moment, I will see. Yeah, and self-enjoyment pages. You see this 333, visibility, security, openness. There's as an example, and here you can practice what we learned today. This is a process that I sometime learned part of it on a coaching course that I was attending. This says there are 3 parts of the process to do. First, we are stating 3 nouns, 3 verbs, and 3 adjectives about the way we feel right now, like when we have some situation that we don't like, that we want to change. Then we can use, because when we immediately go forward to state what we want to have, what experience we want to have. Lost me. Okay. Let's go back to that. So, you hear me now? Karen, hear me now? Yes. Okay, and Karen, back. Okay. Then we'll go back to that where we'll state this, that when something is happening that we don't like, then it is sometimes hard and not very productive. And then again, I will send you back to my free webinar, free course webinar, because some basics of this vibrational work was describing there. So I said there that when we have some unwanted situation, then we can't immediately, usually we can't immediately move to stating what we want to have. We should first to like be listened to, okay? Like state where we are and so get someone to commiserate with us, let's say so, to comfort us, to tell us that our point of view is valid, to tell us that it's normal to feel this way, that it's not bad to feel this way, etc. We want to be heard. We want to be validated. And so this is the step of now when we describe in three nouns, three verbs, what we feel now, where we are now. And step 2 is we also give three nouns, three verbs, and three adjectives on what we want to experience. Okay? You can use many things here, many words, many kinds of words. I mean, you can state both the events that you want to happen and the feelings that you want to have. But I immediately can tell you that when you use here emotional words instead of the events that you want to happen, then it gives you more power. As I said earlier, that when you state the events that you want to be happening, give your power away, because it's like something that happens inside of us. And the feelings we have inside, so we feel more in charge of it. And then the third part is what is actually why I brought you here, even though the first two steps are also important. But in the third part, you will see how I did this vibrational, this being detective work when I said, we can take, for example, where what Karen and Meredith said earlier, like, I want to feel joy. And here, the being detective, I'm looking for this feeling in my life right now. When do I feel joy in my life? When can I feel joy? When do I feel joy in my life right now? So here, even I have here this word that says joy when I'm walking along the street, enjoying the sun, the trees, the flowers. So the point is here to point out some circumstances of our life that we are currently living, that we are currently living, that we already have there that feeling, or that we can have that feeling. Okay, so in this step, we just take the words that are written here: vortex, joy, focus, all the words that you write here, and you take them, and then in being detective, you analyze where in your current life you have these feelings, and then it gives huge power right now, because it even gives us, not only in order to, it's also kind of NLP work, because like NLP, it's of NLP based, can be said, that when we look for where this feeling is in our life, we are tuned to it, and so it's much easier for us to immerse ourselves in this feeling, to be there, to have this state, this exact state. So even the very act of looking for where we have it in our life already works vibrationally. It already works energetically, because it puts us into this state right now. But besides of that, we also have an additional benefit from doing this work, where we when we find how we can, where we have it right now, that actually we find that we already can have this feeling, that we don't need to wait until the course goes on, we don't need to wait until anything goes forward, we don't need to wait for any future events in order to have it right now. And then we have this relief right now, that we already have those feelings, we already have them. And as Abram says, and I confirm with all my vibrational work, that every relief, meaning you went forward in your energy work. The relief, meaning you are going higher. Because remember when Emmerich said in the previous lecture, when you want enlightenment, lighten up, that enlightenment connected to the light, etc. And Bashar also said that when you want enlightenment, lighten up. And when we have this feeling of relief, it always, always, always means we went higher. We did that vibrational step, that important step of our reality the way we want it to be. And this is so important, because we did something that is actually easy to do. We don't need to convince anyone in anything. We don't need to change circumstances. We just go and have a feeling and enjoy it and bask in it right now. And then by that, we establish that experience to our future events. Isn't it exciting? So, okay, I'm going back to our main screen. And do you have any questions, any comments? We are now more than 2 hours mark. So anything that you want to ask now? Oh, am I alone here? Anyone? Oh, okay. 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 Then good. That's great. Thank you all very much for your, yeah, thank you. Yes, it was great for me as well. And my deep, heartful thank you to all of you for your amazing work that you've done today. I will try to upload this video replay as fast as I can and make it possible for you to see all the links and do the practice that you want to do. Thank you for being with me today, and yes, namaste to all of you. Thank you. It was great having this session with you. Thank you.